Welcome to this highly requested explainer. If you've ever dreamt of ditching the 9-to-5 well before traditional retirement age, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're taking a strictly mathematically backed approach to demystify early retirement in the UK. No abstract theories here, just a concrete step-by-step on exactly how to deploy a hypothetical £10,000 to build a rock-solid foundation for financial independence.
All right, let's jump right in. To actually make early retirement a reality, you can't just throw your cash into a generic savings account and hope for the best. You really need a highly structured multi-wrapper strategy. So we're splitting our £10,000 across three specific UK tax vehicles. We're putting £4,000 into a lifetime ISA, £4,000 into a self-invested personal pension, or SIPP for short, and the final £2,000 into a stocks and shares ISA.
And guys, here is exactly why this specific structure is a total game changer. By allocating the funds precisely this way, a basic rate taxpayer unlocks an immediate £2,000 in risk-free government bonuses and tax relief. Think about that. Before your investments have seen a single day of market growth, your £10,000 is instantly transformed into £12,000. Literally free money.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the UK FIRE Challenge. Then, Step 1, the Lifetime ISA. Step 2, the SIPP. Step 3, the ISA Bridge. And finally, why getting this order right is absolutely critical.
Okay, starting with Section 1, the UK FIRE Challenge, and overcoming what's known as the decumulation paradox.
So, unlike folks in the US who have certain clever workarounds for their retirement accounts, UK investors face a massive hurdle. In April 2028, the normal minimum pension age, which is the absolute earliest you can touch your private pension, is rising to 57. If you plan to retire at 50 or even 55, you have this huge gap where your largest wealth vehicle is completely locked behind a regulatory wall. You just cannot touch it. This creates an urgent, non-negotiable need for liquid bridge funds to cover your living costs during those gap years.
Moving on to Step 1, the Lifetime ISA. This is going to act as your later life core capital.
The superpower of the LISA, the Lifetime ISA, is honestly hard to ignore. It allows anyone under 40 to deposit up to £4,000 a year. The government then immediately matches 25% of your contribution, and every single penny of growth, plus your eventual withdrawals after age 60, are completely tax-free.
Just look at the immediate impact of that policy. You put in your maximum £4,000 and boom, the government hands you a £1,000 bonus. Suddenly, you've got £5,000 of starting capital compounding in the market. It is essentially a giant reward designed to incentivize your long-term savings.
Now, you might be wondering, why prioritize the LISA over a standard pension for this first chunk of money? Well, it comes down to the decumulation paradox for basic rate taxpayers. Say you earn £1,000 gross. After taxes, you have about £720 in your pocket. Put that in a LISA, the bonus bumps it back up to £900, and you withdraw it entirely tax-free at 60. But put that same £720 into a SIPP, it gets tax relief, bringing it to £900 inside the pension, but in retirement, only 25% is tax-free. The rest is taxed as income, dropping your net payout to just £765. Actually, scratch the complex math. The simple takeaway is this. Mathematically, the LISA is a wildly more efficient vehicle for life after 60.
All right, Step 2, the SIPP. This is our heavy lifter for mid to late retirement funding.
So, once your LISA is maxed out, the next £4,000 of our £10,000 pot goes straight into a SIPP. The mechanics of relief at source are brilliant here. You contribute your net $4,000. Your pension provider then reclaims the 20% basic rate tax you'd already paid directly from HMRC. That adds another £1,000 to your account. So, exactly like the LISA, your starting capital instantly becomes £5,000.
But, there's always a catch with pensions, right? The SIPPs gives you incredible tax relief on the way in, letting your money compound beautifully. But on the way out, usually from age 57 onwards, only 25% of your pot is available as a tax-free lump sum. The remaining 75% gets added to your taxable income for the year. So yes, the SIPP is absolutely essential, but we have to remember it is a taxable asset in retirement.
Which brings us to Step 3, the ISA Bridge, your pre-57 discretionary lifeline.
Our sources make one thing absolutely crystal clear here. The Stocks and Shares ISA is the correct vehicle for income you need before you hit age 57. We're allocating our final £2,000 here. While this account doesn't give you upfront tax relief or shiny government bonuses, its superpower is total flexibility. There's literally no minimum age requirement, and all your withdrawals are completely exempt from UK income and capital gains tax. The whole shebang.
When we map these accounts together over time, it's like a perfectly timed relay race of wealth. Imagine retiring at 50. From 50 to 57, you survive solely by drawing down from your ISA bridge. Then at 57, you unlock your SIPP, which has been quietly compounding in the background for years. And finally, at 67, your state pension kicks in, adding about £12,500 a year, which significantly lowers the amount you ever need to withdraw from your private accounts.
But wait, if you're building this ISA bridge, there's a massive, massive change you need to be aware of. 22%. That is the new tax charge the government is bringing in starting April 2027.
Historically, early retirees love to completely de-risk their ISA bridge right before quitting their jobs, just moving everything into cash or money market funds to avoid stock market crashes. But these 2027 reforms will actually levy a flat 22% tax on uninvested cash interest inside stocks and shares ISAs. You simply won't be able to hold 100% cash-like assets anymore. To safely manage your bridge funds without triggering tax penalties, you'll need to use multi-asset strategies now, like holding short-term government gilts.
Finally, Section 5. Why the order matters and the very real cost of missequencing. Let's actually compare these outcomes. We just walked through scenario A, the tax-optimized route. By splitting the 10 grand across the LISA, SIPP, and ISA, you get a £2,000 boost and you still keep £2,000 of liquid bridge capital. It is perfectly balanced. But what if you're terrified of locking money away and just dump everything into a flexible ISA? That's scenario B. Or what if you chase maximum tax relief and dump it all into pensions, totally ignoring the ISA? That's scenario C.
If you go with scenario B and stay overly liquid, the mathematical penalty is, well, severe. You completely forfeit the £2,000 in free government matches. To put that into perspective, your investments would have to generate a massive 20% return entirely on their own just to break even with the starting line of our tax-optimized strategy. No way is that a smart trade-off.
But on the flip side, what if you're overly locked in scenario C? Sure, you maximize your immediate tax relief, but you are leaving yourself completely stranded. You'll have zero penalty-free liquidity before age 57. If an emergency hits, or you decide you want to retire at 52, you're backed into a corner. You'd potentially have to access your LISA early, triggering a huge 25% penalty that wipes out your bonus and aggressively eats into your own hard-earned capital.
So here is the bottom line. Early retirement in the UK isn't just about how much you save. It's about exactly where you put it. You need the LISA for later life efficiency, the SIPP for heavy lifting tax relief, and the ISA to safely bridge the gap. I'm going to leave you with this. Have you built your own multi-wrapper blueprint, or are you accidentally leaving thousands of pounds of free money on the table? Take the time to map out your timeline, build that bridge, and take total control of your financial independence. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.